Hey everyone, so today I'm super excited. I finally got to do a tutorial on the peppermint afghan, and I watched a couple different tutorials. I saw a couple of different ideas, and I changed up a few things to make it my own. And one thing that I absolutely love about my design is if you flip it over, it's flat, different, but it does not have a bunch of it still looks like a peppermint on the back. I saw a couple of them that, oh my God, they were so beautiful on the front. And then I saw the back of it and I was like, oh, you can see like so many different areas where they crossed over. And I hated that. I did not want my afghan to look, ugly on one side and then beautiful on the other. So I found a couple of different ways to do the different stitches. And I also saw where some people left bigger holes in the beginning. And you can also see they're changing of colors. And I did not like that. I like the swirl. I like how it comes to the point. So I changed a few things, made it my own, and I wanted to make just a simple tutorial on how to do the motif and how to put on just a simple border and how to put it all together. And I hope that you guys enjoy, and I'm gonna work on this throughout the year, and then if I choose to add different motifs to my blanket, I will post new videos, so make sure that you check in because you never know what I'm gonna do. Thanks guys, enjoy. Okay guys, so today I'm going to show you how I made my own peppermint squares. Well, I guess they're circles, but it's going to be a peppermint afghan. And basically what I'm going to show you in a couple step process is how I watched a couple videos and I absolutely love the more like 3D effect. Mine is not super flat. It is flat on one side, but it's textured on one side. And then I created mine to where I have a very, very tight, small hole in the very beginning. So there was a special way that I did mine. So I'm going to do that tutorial. And then I will do another tutorial on adding the very simple border and then joining them together into a bigger blanket. And it would be a great Christmas afghan, a lap afghan, and I've seen other people where they make smaller ones. I've seen some where they can make snowflakes and then put them all together with different motifs. So I absolutely love this pattern, and I think it's super easy once you get started, but I think it's a lot easier to watch as opposed to following a written tutorial. So I started mine with the magic circle. I have seen people where they chain a certain amount and then they make their circle and then they work off of that. But I felt that when you do your chain and you make the circle that way, that it's very hard to get a pinpoint where it comes together so tight in the center. And the only way that I know how to pull a circle really, really, really tight is to do a magic circle. So when you do a magic circle, I will show you that I am using the I Love This yarn, and I got this at Hobby Lobby, and it is a medium number 4, and it recommends that I use the 5.5 or the I hook. So that's the one that I will be using today. It does give you a little bit looser of a pattern, which I do like for this really, really, really soft yarn, and it's nice because it gives you bigger motifs to work with. So again, going back to the magic circle, you hold it with your thumb, wrap around, make an X in front, bring it behind and the back, so you have 2. You're going to go underneath the first one, grab your yarn and pull it through and twist so you create a loop around your hook. Then you grab the same working yarn, which should be in the back, and you're going to want to pull it through that circle. Now, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get it through, and then once you do, let go and you have your magic circle. So the tail is what, when you pull it, it's going to close your circle. So right now we want to leave the circle nice and big to work out of, and then we will pull it tight at the very end when we're completely done with the motif. So I chain 10. So after you make your magic circle, chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, if you wanted to do this without the magic circle, and you chain so many and you go back and you make your loop, when you chain 10 from here, it will be, you know, working in that direction, whereas because when you loop back over to make the circle, you're coming back to the beginning of the circle, and then you'll work in the loop that you create. But since we're working in the loop of the magic circle, what I did is I slip stitched back to the beginning. And the reason why is because this pattern works from the circle out to the ends. So when you slip stitch, you're going to go into each stitch that you just chained to get back to the center of the circle. So slip stitch into the chain, slip stitch into the next one, slip stitch into the next one. And all I'm doing is slip stitching back. It'll add just a slight amount of bulk to your very first burgundy stripe, but it's okay because you're going to hide that. Okay, so I got back to my circle. Now I'm going to slip stitch in my circle. So always go in through the center of the circle, grab your yarn, slip stitch, chain 1, maybe, and turn your work. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to work into the top chain. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with the end. So the pattern will start with a single crochet in the very first stitch. So go into that first stitch, single crochet, pull through. Then we're going to do a half double crochet in the next one. So yarn over, go through the next stitch, pull through and through the first loop, grab your yarn again and pull through the 2 loops. Now we're going to do a double crochet. So yarn over, go through the next stitch, pull through 2 loops, grab your yarn and pull through 2 loops. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets in the next stitch. So yarn over, grab your yarn, pull through, grab your yarn, pull through 2 loops, grab your yarn, pull through the last 2 loops. Yarn over, go through the same stitch, grab your yarn, pull through 2, grab your yarn, pull through 2. So far we have a single crochet, a half double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets in the same space, and then we're going to do a double crochet in the next chain. Now we're going to work 2 triple crochets in the next stitch. So yarn over twice, so you have 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to go into the next stitch, pull through your yarn, grab your yarn, pull through 2, grab your yarn, pull through 2, grab your yarn, pull through the last 2. That's a triple crochet. So we're going to do another one in that same stitch. So yarn over twice, go through the loop, pull your yarn through, grab your yarn, pull it through 2, grab your yarn, pull it through 2, grab your yarn, pull it through 2. So that's 2 triple crochets. Now we're going to do 1 triple crochet in the next stitch. Go through the next stitch, pull through, grab your yarn, pull through 2, grab your yarn, pull through 2, grab your yarn, pull through 2. Okay, so what we do now is we end with a cluster. So the last 3 stitches on the very end of your yarn, and the cluster works this way. So you're going to start out like you're going to do triple crochets, but you don't work your way all the way through, and I'll show you what I mean. So yarn over twice and go through the next loop like you're going to do a triple crochet. So yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now stop. We're not going to go through the last 2 and complete the triple crochet. Yarn over twice again, like you're going to do another triple crochet, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on your hook. You're going to go through the next space. You're going to pull it through, yarn over, and pull through. Now stop. You have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over 1 time, and you're going to go through the last loop, and you're going to pull through. Now you're going to pull through. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to yarn over and pull through 5 times. So yarn over, pull through the first 2, that's 1. Yarn over, pull through the next 2, that's 2. Yarn over, pull through the next 2, that's 3. Yarn over, pull through the next 2, that's 4. And yarn over, pull through the last 2, that's 5. And then you can see how we have a little bit of curvature in our first stripe. You're going to chain 1, turn your work, and now you're going to do a single crochet in the top stitches all the way across. So you should have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So go through both loops, grab your yarn, pull through, pull through. That's a single crochet. Go through, single crochet. Go through the next space, single crochet, 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 and keep going until you get all 10. Okay, so now we're back to the beginning, and we are going to change our colors. So you have the tail. Don't pull on this and don't tie it off. Leave it there. You have your first stripe. So now we're going to change to white. So always, always, always take your yarn that you're going to stop using and put it to the back. Don't bring it forward, because then you won't be able to work your yarn through your loop. So take it back and keep it out of your way. Grab your next color, and I'm using the same kind of yarn. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go through the loop to grab the yarn, and you're going to pull it through the loop that you have working. Now take the burgundy tail that you have back there, and you're going to pull it tight. So you pull this really super tight, okay, because you want to make sure that it's nice and tight. And then grab your yarn and make 1 chain. So pull both very, very tight. That way it stays together. Okay, so there's your circle. And then turn your work. Now just keep that tail. So now the tail that you moved in the back is now going to be in the front, but just ignore that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same thing with the white, but we're going to work in the back stitches. So if you can see on top, I have my 10 single crochets that I worked all the way across. We're going to work in these back stitches right here. And the reason why is because it will give you that textured look where it looks a little bit of more of a 3D effect. It'll have that line. If you don't want the line and you want it to be completely flat on both sides, then you need to work through both right through in the spaces as opposed to in the back spaces. So we're going to do the same thing. So you're going to single crochet in the back of the first single crochet, and then now half double. So yarn over, go through the back, pull through the first loop, grab your yarn, pull through the last 2, then work a double crochet in the next, 2 double crochets in the next space. So that same space, work 2 double crochets. In the next space, work 1 double crochet. In the next space, work 2 triple crochets. That's 1. That's 2. In the next space, work 1 triple crochet. And again, stay in the back stitches. Okay, so now we have 3 left. We're gonna work that cluster. So yarn over twice, go through the first back loop, pull through, and pull through, stop, don't pull through the last two, yarn over twice again, go through the next backspace, pull through just once, yarn over one time, go through the last space, pull up through, so you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to yarn over, pull through the first two, that's 1, yarn over, pull through the next two, that's 2, yarn over the next two, that's 3, yarn over the next ones, that's 4, yarn over the next ones, that's 5, chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to go back the other way. So single crochets back through the spaces, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the last space, that's 10. And then you're going to do the same thing. Take the white yarn, put it behind, grab the burgundy that you left, move the white tail out of the way in the back, grab the burgundy. You're going to go through the circle, grab that yarn, and pull it through the white loop. Pull tight on the yarn in the back. Make a chain 1, and then turn your work, and then we're going to repeat and do it all over again. So we're going to do a single crochet in the first back space, half double in the next one, double crochet in the next, 2 double crochets in the next, one double crochet in the next, 2 triples, one triple, and then the cluster. So yarn over twice, pull through the first two, pull through the second two, yarn over twice again, pull through the first two, yarn over once, go through the last space, pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 1, turn your work, and work a single crochet until you get back to your circle. And then you're just going to change your yarn again to the white, and you're going to keep going all the way around until you get to the very end, and you will end up with 6 burgundy stripes and 6 white stripes. And then I will show you, I will come back to this tutorial and show you how to join them and how to tie off your ends and how to work them in. So you can see, flipping it over, you have that nice 3D effect because you were working in your back stitches. It's creating that circular pattern, and when we get done with the whole yarn and we end up with the white, we will stitch them together, and then we will pull our magic circle really super tight so it closes up this circle. So the nice thing is it gives you plenty of room to work while we're doing this. It's a very simple pattern once you get used to it. It's just a lot of changing the colors that can be a little bit of a task to get used to. Try not to get your yarn wound up together, but other than that, we will meet back here shortly and we will finish up the motif, and then we'll add the border and put them together. Alright guys, so we're at the very end. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of each color. And what I do is I've just done my 10 single crochets back to my circle. I slip stitch into the very end, and then I'm going to cut my white yarn and I'm going to pull through. Now make sure you make this decently long, that way, because we're going to use that to join it to the other beginning. So you can also go ahead and cut your last burgundy. Just be careful because we're just going to work that in, and I'll show you how I tie mine off. So you still have your magic circle. You can see that it's very large right now. We're not going to pull it tight just yet. So that end is right here, and then after we pull it tight, I'll show you how I tie off my white end and my burgundy end. So there's just the one in the back that is going to put it together. So what we're going to do is, when you sew, you can see that the burgundy is on top, so then it needs to be the white needs to kind of lay on top for the last pattern. Now when we started this, because we slip stitch back, you can see that there's actually 3 rows to work off of. So honestly, you can go into any row. I usually choose the middle, but again, you just need to work the back loops of the white into the top of the burgundy. So you can work it into, you can hide all of it if you want and work into the very top of the burgundy right here. You can do it either way. So go ahead and take your crochet needle and you're just going to line up the back stitches and you're going to sew them together. So if we work into the tops, there should be 10 and 10. And again, I'm working in the back stitches along the ends. And on the very end, All right. And then I usually take my very last, put it through, and then I go back through that same last loop, tie my knot, and then work my white into my white stripe, just to hide the tail. Pull it tight, and then cut that off. Okay, so after it's all done, you really can't, you can see it a little bit, but it's okay. So just depending on where you sew it together, you can sew it in the different stitches. And then what we're going to do is now we are going to pull our tail and we're going to close the circle. So if you want a little bit of a hole, don't close it all the way, but I pull very tight. And I prefer mine to be really, really, really tight. So what I do is I go ahead and I knot my ends together. You pull that tight, and then I work the other burgundy. It's a little bit away from the loop, so I go ahead and just take it back to the center so that I can tie it in a knot next to the other burgundy one. I just do one little, I just makes me feel better that's not going to come unraveled. And then I just take the ends that I have left and I work them up through the same color stripe. Just about halfway is enough. Try to work it in the tighter stitches. Once you go through, just cut off the excess. Same with the white. I have to wet my ends. I can't seem to ever get it through the eye of the needle without doing so. And pull through, pull it, cut. Okay, and then of course I'm going to work my last one. So basically, when you're all finished, you will have your peppermint motif. It will be more flat on one side and then the other. And then when we add the border, super, super, super easy. So what we're going to do is I take my white yarn. And you could do it with the burgundy yarn. You could do white and burgundy, whatever you want your blanket to look like. I go through one corner in between a white and a burgundy. Grab your yarn, pull it through. I always knot mine. It's my obsession. I'm always afraid that I'm going to make a blanket and my ends are going to come unraveled. So I always double knot. Some people don't. They just work it in, and that's fine too. So knot your yarn, go back through, grab it, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there is a space in the middle. So let's see, you can see it's right here. I slip stitch into that space, chain 4 again, and then I go into the next space that's in between the color change and slip stitch into there, chain 4, let's see if this is, nope. And then again into that middle space, slip stitch, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, into the middle in between the two colors, chain 4, find that middle again, chain 4, and then in between the two colors, find that space, slip stitch, chain 4. And you're just going to do that all the way around until you get to the end, and you're going to slip stitch and tie off, and then you'll have your border. So super easy. And then there's multiple ways that you can actually connect your motifs together. I've seen, it just depends on how loose you want or how big of the gaps that you want. You can sew them together, you can link them together. I've seen where some women will make one motif, and then, so let's say I leave one corner of this one done, and then so I will work in through this motif and then slip stitch here all the way through, if that makes sense. So you go through the gap, go to the other part of your motif. Can't seem to get it to, and slip stitch and bring it all the way through. And then so now they're connected. So there's lots of different ways that you can join your blanket. You can sew it all together. So you can put your ends together and sew at the different points. So you can connect them that way. You can chain, so you can connect right here and chain over, slip stitching all the way through after you piece together all your different motifs in different ways. So get creative, enjoy the pattern, and I can't wait to see your guys' peppermint blankets. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Thanks!